Now that we have had our first confirmed case of a student testing positive for COVID-19 in college, we felt it was really important to catch up with staff and students and discuss how we are responding to the pandemic in college. You know all the precautions that we have put in place so far, and we wanted to say a huge thank you to those of you that are sticking to the guidelines and the new rules, continuously washing your hands, keeping to the one-way systems, wearing your face coverings, and the other things that are also listed. A huge thank you to the staff that are having to clean their classrooms in between each lesson and then getting to the collection points to collect their next class, and repeating that sometimes up to 5 times within a day. So thank you to everybody for pulling together on that. Sometimes we have had the question about face coverings within lessons. As you can see on the slide, the Department for Education have released guidelines on this. They feel that ultimately it would interrupt the learning in lessons. If you are concerned about this, please do talk to a member of staff or your teacher about wearing your face covering in lessons. What happens when a member of our community tests positive for COVID-19? We have developed our own ECC track and trace system. First off, Mr Davis will make a phone call to Public Health England to confirm that we have a positive case and to seek further guidance. Whilst he's doing this, a member of staff will contact the student who has tested positive and ask them to confirm their close contacts for the previous 2 days from when they were poorly and had started their symptoms, or from when they had a positive test if they didn't have symptoms. You can see on the right hand side what is regarded as a close contact. So we need to know who the student was with at break time, who they might have walked to school with or home with, or who they may have seen outside of college. Any students that go to school at ECC. Once we've got all of the names confirmed, we also look at seating plans from the students' lessons. Every teacher in school keeps an up-to-date seating plan, so we know very quickly who the student was sat next to in lessons. We also ask the teacher to clarify that the seating plan is correct, and they have to tell us if they themselves or anyone else in the classroom has had close contact with the student. Once we have all the names, we send a text message home, or where possible, we will also phone home. But please remember, we are sometimes getting confirmed cases late at night or over the weekends, so it's not always possible to ring home. We send a text message to inform parents and carers that they need to come and collect their child because they need to self-isolate. We also follow this up with an email with all the information in, and also to discuss and explain remote learning. Once that has been sent home, we also send a whole college email to all parents and carers and staff, informing them that we have had a positive case of COVID-19 and to explain any instructions. Once the students have been told that they need to self-isolate, they now need to stay at home for 14 days. What does it mean if you have to self-isolate? It means you must stay at home from 14 days from the last contact you had with the positive case. That means you cannot leave the house, you cannot see friends. You can of course see them virtually, but not in real life. There's no popping to the shop. What happens to the rest of your family? Well, provided you and no one else within your house feels unwell or develops symptoms, the rest of your house can continue as normal. That means they can continue to go to work or school. But you must stay home if you are asked to self-isolate. Why is the whole year group not having to isolate? Well, we've been given really specific guidelines on this. Mr Davis speaks to Public Health England every time a new case is reported, and we have to follow the instructions that they give us. Can't I just get tested and go back to school or go out and see my mates? No. COVID-19 incubates for up to 10 days and a further 4 days for the symptoms to develop, if at all. You will not know if you are carrying the virus at all. It doesn't matter if you get tested quickly and you get a negative result. There is no saying that you won't develop the symptoms or that you will become asymptomatic and still carrying the disease. So it is extremely important that you stay at home for the 14 days. When you're self-isolating, it's really important that you stick to your timetable. This is not the same as the lockdown we had before the summer holidays. We are now still in school and school is open. So you need to log onto your Teams app and look in the files to check for your work, or look on class charts. If you can't find your work there, you can email your teacher through your college email on the RM Unified tile. Also, you can visit the remote learning page on our website. There's loads of resources on there and there's lots of instructions on how to help you. If you don't have access to a computer or the internet at home, don't be embarrassed about this. Just tell your head of year because they can help you. What should you do if you think you have COVID-19? You know what the symptoms are and they are displayed on the slide in front of you. If you think you have developed the symptoms, please tell an adult as soon as possible, whether that is a member of your family at home or a member of staff within the college. You must get tested as soon as possible. Whilst you're waiting for your test result, you must isolate at home with everybody in your family. That means that nobody can go out to work or to school or even to the shops. Once you receive your test back, if it is negative, then you can return to school if you feel well. If your test shows that you have got COVID and the test is positive, you must self-isolate now for 10 days from when you got your test result. Everybody else within your house must isolate for 14 days. That means nobody may go out, not even to the shops. If you receive a test result that states unclear, void, inconclusive or borderline, then you must try and get tested again within the 8 days from your symptoms starting. It's really important that you do this just to confirm that you don't have COVID-19. If you cannot get a test, you have to still isolate for 10 days from when your symptoms started, and everyone else in your house must also isolate for 14 days. So it's really important that you get tested. Your attendance. The Department for Education have told us that students must attend school. This is regardless of whether they have somebody at home that is clinically vulnerable or clinically extremely vulnerable. This is why you must do everything that you can when you're in college to follow the guidelines and the rules. We know that this is extremely worrying and stressful for some students and their families. Most staff also feel the same. This is why we must really stick together. If you're worried or concerned, you have to talk to a member of staff. Don't suffer in silence. Don't sit and worry about this. And please do not stay at home. You must be in college where possible. So please speak to your head of year or your tutor. And when you're in college, keep yourself and your family safe. So, washing your hands, wearing your face covering and giving each other space, hands, face and space, is so important. You must keep yourself and your family safe. But please also be kind. We're all in this together. We know this is an incredibly stressful time for everybody. The school day has completely changed as we know it, but we're all getting through this together. We're all pulling through it, and we will continue to do so. So please be kind to each other. Please be kind to your teachers. Please remember that we're all in this together.